Greetings and welcome to the Power of the Overflow.
We are Chris and Corey Thompson, and we're excited to have you join us on this empowering journey.
This podcast is all about inspiring, educating, and empowering you to tap into your fullest potential. In today's podcast, you'll get to learn more about Chris and I. Chris, how did we meet?
Corey, well, I think February now is almost passing, but it was 20 years ago that we met.
Okay.
And we met, do you remember where we met?
Yes, Valley View Middle School.
Yes, we were both teachers. We met at Valley View Middle School in Bloomington, Minnesota. We were both sixth grade teachers. Is there anything that stands out to you about when you first met me?
One, you're white. Two, you were the team lead. And so I was supposed to come to you to get anything that I needed. So if I had questions, needed to know where supplies were, I was supposed to come to your room or come to you and ask.
Yes, that is correct. So we were both teachers on the same sixth grade team. I was the team lead. I think what was unique about how we met was we met at work, and for me, it was the first time that I became friends with someone before a relationship.
Oh, that's interesting. New knowledge. Yes.
I've told you that before.
I'm just remembering.
But the reason I bring that up is because I think that was how our relationship started and how it grew strong. Now, let's go back a little bit too. So 20 years ago, we met, we started working together, but we didn't start dating for about a year and a half, maybe it was. And as you said, I was the first white person that you had dated.
True.
You were not the first black woman that I had dated.
And I was like, what? Tell me more.
But another thing that stands out to me about that was we had dated for a few months, and your aunt saw you at church one day, and she was like, "Are you dating someone?"
That is true.
How did you respond to that?
I think I paused. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I was like, maybe, because I was shocked that she questioned and asked me that because I wasn't expecting that because it just threw me off. I was like, huh? How did she know? How would anybody know?
Yes, you were. I remember you coming back saying that you were very surprised. You were like, "How did she know?" Well, soon after that, you said, "Well, I want you to come to church." And so I agreed to come to church. And at the time, you were very involved with church, with youth ministry.
Yep. And I was a praise dancer on the prayer team. Yeah, I was very active.
So I agreed to come to church, and I remember that day because it was a spring day, and you went to church first because you had some responsibilities, and then I came closer to the start of service time. And when I walked into the church, and it's a predominantly black church, I walked in and I met Pastor Anthony Lewis. He was soon to be a pastor, soon to be ordained. He was ushering that day. And as I walked into church, he thought I was lost.
Yep.
He thought I had somehow stumbled upon this church and this church service. And yeah, he asked me if I needed help. I said, "No, I'm in the right spot. I'm here with Corey."
That is correct. You came to visit. But prior to that, one thing that Chris didn't know was in our women's Bible study, I was like, hey guys, I didn't say it like that, but I was just like, ladies, I need your advice. I want to bring someone to church, but he's white. And then all the ladies in the women's ministry were encouraging me, yes, to bring him, and one just giving me words of wisdom about it and that it's okay, and just guiding me because it was new. Like I was like, okay, this is the first male that I was interested in, that I was bringing to church to meet my family. But the other piece people need to know too, that the church we went to was also, the senior pastors were my aunt and uncle. And so, and I had other family members there, my mom. So it wasn't just like, oh, this is my church family. This was my blood family and my church family, which I was like, okay, if I do this, how they're going to receive him. Because, as I like to call him, my baby daddy. Also, my husband is, that he was white. So,
And I think from my perspective, you were apprehensive about being questioned and maybe scrutinized even because you hadn't dated for several years, correct? At that point, you decided I'm done dating. You got heavily involved in church and your work and education, and you said, I've written some things down in my journal, my notebook, and when God brings me this person, I'll be ready.
okay, so yes, that's true. I did. I did a sabbatical on dating just because I wasn't in healthy relationships. And I was like, okay, God, I need to get myself together. And so, yes, part of my journey was going to church, getting saved, getting baptized, dedicating myself to God. And I did, that was actually, our senior pastor had told us, if you want a mate, write down what you want. And yes, I did. I wrote down all the qualities I want. And then when I got to skin color, I put a skin color. You can guess what I put. And then I said, no, God, for whatever you have for me. So I scratched it out and said, no, whoever you have. And that's when he brought you.
And that's when he brought me. And so for me, as I said, I think Corey was a little apprehensive about how we would be received as two people dating. But for me, I was just cool. I came to church and everyone was welcoming and they still wanted the best for you. I do know that your aunt, who is very discerning and is filled with questions, came to me and said, what do you want with Corey? She did.
She did.
She was very blunt. And I remember her telling me too, if you don't have the best of intentions for Corey, just leave her alone.
Yes, yes.
And after time, she realized that I did have the best of intentions. And uh, we continued dating, and I continued coming to church. And 2 years later, about 2 years later,
Yeah, it was.
we got married.
We got married, yes.
And so that's kind of the.
And well, real quick, the, the aunt, our pastor, who said to you, right, if it's leave her alone, was also the one who ended up marrying us with my uncle, who was also the senior pastor. So,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
But over time, they saw that, what we were engaging in was something that was real and we did love each other. Um, and I think Pastor May and Pastor Beecham deserve a lot of credit for building the foundation in our lives
Yes.
with God and
Yes.
getting us involved in ministry.
Yes.
And that's kind of a good segue leading into our next question for the podcast tonight is, who are we?
Yeah. Who are we? I would say, as you heard, we're a married couple. We are parents to three children. I call them the bigs. And what I mean by bigs, they're, they're teenagers and we have a young adult. We also are a sports family. Two of our kids play sports, basketball and baseball. Um, we are, what else?
We're coaches.
Yes.
I coach sports. I've coached so our kids. Well, let's go back. We've been married now almost 18 years.
Yeah.
So this coming June will be 18 years. Um, we have three children: Ava, who has graduated from high school; Adrian, who he is a junior in high school this year; and Aaron, who is a freshman in high school. And so I've been a coach: football, baseball, and basketball. I was a coach before my kids came along too. Corey is an educating coach. Do you want to tell a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So one of the things is my journey as an educator has always been about equity. And I've always dealt with it from me being a teacher. What does it mean? What does it look like? What does it feel like for our students and families, and even for our educators that I've been connected to? So, as a teacher, as a dean, I did the work. I did it as a director for a large district. I've also did some coaching of principals, and now I'm also continuing on coaching, but the coaching has taken me outside of Minnesota. I have been doing some coaching in California. So that has been a big part of my life is educating, be it kids, as I like to say, littles, you'll hear that a lot, to adults.
Yeah. So if you look at our history, you started off, Corey, as a preschool teacher and moved your way up to middle school level. You've been a school administrator, a principal, and an assistant principal at the elementary level. I've taught at the elementary level, at the middle school level. I've done some coaching at the high school level. So when we're talking about young people, that's primarily um, who we've coached and taught. We've both been teaching. I've been teaching for almost 30 years. Corey's been teaching for 25 plus.
Yes.
Um,
Ooh, I don't know about the plus, but I know for sure. I think 22, 23. I don't know about that
you're not
plus.
claiming that yet, huh?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No,
Well,
no. But between
you
us, though, between us, we had 50 years of experience in educating. And it's not just, yes, in a school, but we've also done it in different capacities. Like you said, coaching, um, being a part of the youth ministry, ministering. Also, too, with our website, we have a coaching component with that. So,
so going back to what you just said about uh, in church and youth ministry, we were involved um, as youth pastors at our church with Corey's aunt and uncle. We led the youth ministry, and so looking back, we've been busy teaching and coaching, um, and as we said, we're still currently, our jobs are involved in education. So, and then in raising these three kids under our household, we, as Corey said, have over 50 years of experience in education, and our three kids, they they test us on that knowledge and experience often.
all the time.
So,
And
but
it's just like a classroom, too. Every kid is different. And even in our home, each of them are different and have their own unique, uh, how do I put it, things that they need to thrive and be the best that they can be, that we're learning.
yes, and I think that's whether we're talking about our children at school, our kids that we have had the privilege to work with at church, coaching, or our own kids. Corey brought up, you know, looking at what their individual needs are, and especially in the world we live in now, um, there are a lot of needs. There are a lot of emotional needs, and we're here to uh, help help our children grow and develop, whether they're at our job, on the field, in our house, at church.
Friends of our kids.
Yes, absolutely.
I would even say some of the youth that we had that were young. when we were over the youth ministry that are now young adults. We're still connected to quite a few of them that still reach out and be like, hey, can you help me navigate this? Or can you help me with that? And so we're still here for that too.
Same thing happens with me with some of my former students at school. I won't reveal or tell how old I am, but I now have taught some kids whose parents I also taught. So I've been doing it quite a while. And I guess that leads into one of our big messages today with this podcast is, why are we doing this? We have lots of experience in teaching and educating and coaching, and we have our personal lives. We have lots of experience in, our health journeys and our spiritual journeys. And we want to share our experience. We want to share what we've been through because we feel that it's going to help someone else.
Yeah. And our motto for our blog, our website, and even the podcast is to inspire, educate, and empower. And obviously, right, us being educators, of course, we're going to have that part in there. But the biggest thing is empowering people to know that, one, you got this, to encourage, to inspire, and just know that you're not alone in your journey of life. And there is so much more beyond what is sometimes in front of you. Because sometimes the things that are in front of you will have you like, what is this? Am I ever going to get out of this? But you know what? You can. And we know that personally. And those are some of the things that we'll be talking about.
And I think it's important to talk about this too. We've talked a lot about our lives and education, which is very important. And obviously it's where we were meant to be, because I know Corey, when she started off in college, she thought she was going to be a doctor. And that shifted. But overall, the overarching thing that is very important to us is, yes, we are parents, we are brothers and sisters, and we are coaches and teachers and
aunts and
uncles. But first and foremost, we come from God. Working at church with the youth ministry, and that's who we are. We come from God first, with all those other things, being our roles that God has given us. And so when we talk about who we are, anything we talk about in this podcast, anything we share, any information is going to be, coming from a godly perspective.
Yeah, God is first. That's one thing we have learned in our journey as an individual and also in our marriage, that God is first and all else will come.
And I look up here on the wall. Corey is very artistic. She likes to do projects. She's got her arts and crafts closet here at the house, and we're sitting in our office right now, and there's a big, it looks like a blackboard, an old school blackboard on our wall. And when we talk about God is first, right up here on our wall it says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. That's coming from Matthew 6:33. And so everything we talk about, everything we discuss, whether it's sports related, work wise, health related, anything, it's going to be coming from a godly perspective, because that's who we are, and that's where we put our trust, that's where we put our faith. We put our faith in God.
That's correct. It makes me just think about, again, our purpose with everything that we're doing is to inspire, educate, empower, but the backing is from God in everything that we do.
And so as we discuss within our podcast and on the blog each week about inspiring, educating, and empowering, know that everything that we share comes from a godly perspective. And we really do. We really want to be able to help people in whatever area it is. And one thing we've learned through our journey is that you need some people to talk to. You need somebody of faith to help you at times. And so whether we are that couple or whether we're those people, that's what's really important to us, is being able to, when you're going through something, be able to have people of faith right there with you to be able to help you and guide you through your difficult times.
I agree with you. You're the one who helps guide me through the difficult times. It's just part of our marriage. And just, we have others too that are in our lives that do the same thing for us.
Let everybody know what this journey is all about and what we hope to provide for people.
Our next series will be on my health journey and what happened on March 8th, 2022. Thank you for joining us.